And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Victor's in Hollywood off of Bronson Avenue. Welcome to the 10 Count in our panel. I'm Steve Kim from UCN Live. We have Dave Smith, radio personality, and the institution from the Sentinel, Ken Miller, and my old running mate from Max Boxing, now the editor-in-chief of RingTV, Doug Ficsher. Doug, let's get right into this. Jay-Z and Rock Nation swooped in out of nowhere like thieves in the night, and they won the WBO purse bid for the middleweight title with a bid of $1.9 million for the fight between Peter Quillen and Matvey Korobov. Now, I just got a very simple question. Doug, I'll start with you here. Is Jay-Z another version of 50 Cent?
No, and I'll tell you why. Now, when 50 Cent first said that he was going to get involved with boxing, he thought he was going to have a partnership with Floyd Mayweather, and he thought wrong. But when people would ask me about 50 Cent as a promoter, I say, well, let's wait until he actually has a company. Let's wait until he has a matchmaker. Let's wait until he has a boxing officer, somebody who's going to actually coordinate and run his company. Because 50 Cent is not a boxing guy. What Rock Nation and Jay-Z have done, they hired Dave Itzkowitz, who you and I know. Yeah. And I think everyone at this table knows. He's somebody who's been in the business for a couple decades now. He knows boxing. He knows boxing at the highest level. So that right there tells me that I'm serious. It's not just the amount of money that he shelled out, and he definitely overpaid for this fight. Quillen Korobov is not worth nearly $2 million. But I will say this, Quillen versus Korobov is a good first event, particularly if it takes place in Brooklyn. Quillen is a New York Brooklyn resident, and Korobov, being Russian, brings a certain ethnic presence to that matchup. If they have that fight at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, I think it'll sell very well.
Dave, though, you've been a fan for years. Haven't we seen fly-by-night promoters that were going to save boxing? I still remember
Sugar Ray Leonard was one of them.
He was one of them.
Right.
I remember Matt Tinley, the cable giant with America Pretends.
And don't forget the Contenders.
The Contender, yes, with our good friend Jeff Walsh, Mr. Cool and Steady. Then I also remember Josephine Abercrombie out of Houston.
Out of Houston, the HBA.
Yeah, so everyone says we're gonna save boxing, we're gonna change the business, and then 5 years later they're not in the business anymore. Well, I'm actually curious. I want to see if Rock Nation has an actual plan.
Remember, Josephine wanted her fighters to be gentlemen. She'd make them take their gloves off before they shook hands with a lady. And they'd have to stand when a lady entered the room.
Yeah.
And, it all boils down to they give us the fights we want to see, Rock Nation and Jay-Z. And I think you see the Steve Ballmer now of boxing by overpaying for this show they're going to put on, paying $1.9 million. What he went up against Golden Boy and Bob Arum. And were you surprised that Golden Boy and Bob didn't kind of come together on this, Steve, and maybe put in a higher bid? Or do they make more money by not getting the fight?
Well, I think the way the purse bid process works, you're not allowed to combine bids, but also a lot of companies don't want to win purse bids because they're saying, you know what, we'll win the title, but you pay for it. Yeah, that's the way it works. Also, another issue, and Ken, we know how fractured the game is. You talk about this a lot. It's no secret, Al Heyman, he's no friend of Jay-Z.
Right.
So does that muddle the picture even more?
It does and it doesn't, and I'll tell you why. I don't think that Rock Nation wants to be promoters in the sport of boxing. I don't think that they want to be in boxing the way we perceive that they want to be. I think they want to use boxing as an arena to extend the brand of Rock Nation, which means that if a Floyd Mayweather so happens to come up through the ranks, that guy is a guy that Rock Nation will compete for. But I don't think that their model for what it is that they're doing is to be another Top Rank, be another Golden Boy, be another DKP.
Right, look, they're not 100% boxing. They have other interests.
They have other interests, and
parts
I think
of entertainment.
The way the sport is going is that there's going to be lesser of those top ranks. Golden Boy, DKPs. They're going to be, boxing is going to be more of a satellite, a lot of satellite promotional companies that would allow for them to brand a certain product with a certain event in a certain city. And I think that that's what Rock Nation is doing. And I don't really think that it's anti-Al Heyman, even though Heyman was involved with a lawsuit with Beyonce. Because look, at the end of the day, it's a big boys club, and the big boys club is all about this. If I can eat and you can eat, I'm good.